Hello and welcome. I'm Loni Paul. We're going to do a yin style class today with the beautiful Yasmin. So we're going to start today in child's pose. So it's nice to have a blanket or a towel underneath the knees. So if you want to just come right into child's pose. And the knees can be wide or close together, whatever feels comfortable, toes together or wide, and arms outstretched. And in child's pose, for a lot of people, it's a pose of rest. For some people, it's a little bit tough on the neck and shoulders. You can always cross the arms and place the head on top of the forearms. Whatever, find some nice, comfortable place to land. We start in child's pose. In a yin style class, we hold poses for longer than in other style classes. And we play the edge. So here we take a shape and we play the edge. So this shape here is child's pose. And the edge means we're going to an edge of sensation. That's not pain, but some sensation on a scale of 1 to 10, say between 2 and 5. Again, not a pain scale, but a sensation scale. So most bodies, there's some sensation in the shoulders and in the hips in child's pose. So we start here, and you're just feeling and letting the gravity take hold in this pose. We'll switch it up a little bit. We'll walk the arms over to the left-hand side. This is called a walking child's pose. So you can feel a little bit of the sensation now running along the right-hand side of the body. So another aspect of a yin class in a yin pose is that we relax the muscles in the target area. So instead of in a typical child's pose, you might have it active with the fingertips down and a lot of muscles engaged here. You're letting the muscles along the right-hand side and along the hips just relax and sink in. Beautiful. And then we'll walk the arms through the middle and come over onto the right-hand side. Again, this walking child's pose. So in yin, we also practice what we call functional alignment instead of aesthetic alignment. And that means I will describe where the sensation is that I'd like you to feel, where it is in your body, and if you're feeling it, you're doing it. Again, if there's any pain, you want to come right out. But it's not the type of class where I'll say the third finger goes to the corner of the mat and the toes need to be, in this exact position. It's a little bit more loose than that. And it's called functional alignment versus aesthetic alignment. And we hold these poses for a particular time, depending upon the goal here. And then we're going to walk the hands back up through center. And just staying here for a couple more breaths. And then slowly coming up. Let's just take a little cat-cow, and we'll have this be an organic movement. So coming up to hands and knees. This will be a counter pose, so the hands will be underneath the shoulders. And just letting the breath be the guide, just move through and flow through this. So unlike other classes, when we're doing a counter pose for a yin class, you kind of let the movement be organic and just listen to what the body is saying. Couple of breaths here, and then we'll set up for the shape of butterfly. This is one of the most quintessential yin style poses. So we're sitting, it's nice, can be on the edge of a blanket, and the soles of the feet are together, a comfortable distance from the body. So the closer in, the more you'll feel it in the inner aspect of the leg, and the further away, the more in the back. And then it's a forward fold, so it looks just a little bit like this. And go ahead, and then if you would like a place for the head to land, blocks can be good. Yasmin has a lot of flexibility in the back and can come flat. Here's some other options here. Stacking things up. If you feel a tug in the knees, you can always hold the knees on the outside. If the back feels wonky in this pose, you can just come right out, and this can be done beautifully against the wall. The target area is more in the inner thigh. So here the target area will be this dense sacral band across the back of the body. This pose is great because it has a beautiful forward fold, and it takes the hamstrings out of play. You can see that the knees are bent, so you can really get into this part in the lower back that and some of the densest fascia tissue in the body. So yin yoga targets the connective tissue in the body, primarily the fascia tissue that runs throughout all of our muscles. And I think we think that it's tight muscles that hold us back, but in a lot of cases it's this connective tissue that yin yoga will help sort of, we say, untangle this tissue, lengthen it out. So butterfly, this pose we're in right now, is a fantastic pose because it is very calming, one of the best for fear and anxiety. All the major organs are protected in the body, and it's a very soothing forward fold, going after the parasympathetic nervous system and calming. We're going to slowly come out of this. So yin poses, you come out super slow. So just start to bring the weight back and just roll up super slow, letting the head be the last thing to come up. And you move real slow. So it's very typical to have this, the target area have this kind of weird, temporarily weakened, kind of strange sensation after a yin pose. That's normal. That is the fascia tissue that you've gone. So let's come onto the belly, and you take your time getting there. So just swinging the legs around, coming right onto the belly. Let's have the legs be nice and long, and the hands stacked, so just the forehead right on top of them. So it's a nice crocodile pose of the hands stacked. And it can feel nice to have the legs wide here and take a few breaths to feel the benefits of butterfly. So if you feel this, I'm going to say this sort of little funky sensation right in the lower back, that's normal. You just take a couple of breaths. And then let's bend the knees and take some gentle windshield wipers side to side. Beautiful. And that just opens up and creates a little bit of movement through the lower back. And now we'll set up for Sphinx. So you can end the windshield wiper. And Sphinx looks just like you think it would, like a Sphinx. So you start with the forearms right underneath the chest. Beautiful. In some bodies, this is a deep back bend. If it starts to pinch right here, you walk the elbows out. I would show you what that would look like. In some bodies, this is a deep back bend. And here you can start to customize. If the head feels like it's heavy, you can put a block right underneath the forehead. And unlike the yang version, where we're very upright, the collarbones are spread, the muscles are engaged, here you're relaxing. So the shoulders can shrug a little bit. And depending upon what's going on in the body, some folks like to have the glute muscles engaged, but if you can let them be relaxed, that can also be nice. Same thing with the abdominals. So you play around, you customize, and you try it, just making sure that you don't have that pinching sensation. Now the target area here is this beautiful line of traction from the crown of the head right through the thoracic spine. See how our heart is melting forward, just opening and spreading the collarbones. Again, and you abandon this pose if it starts to feel pinchy here. If not, you let it be. And we hold this for a little bit of time. This is the least flexible part of the spine, this thoracic spine here. And it's getting some beautiful work. If you feel no sensation, you can come into seal, where you walk the hands a little bit wider and straighten the arms. So it looks a little like this. I can show it. This is seal. Most people have to bring a little bit more engagement into the glutes. Beautiful. And then we'll come out, so the elbows come down. And again, right back into crocodile, so the hands will stack. Forehead comes to the hands. Feels really good to have the knees, the feet wide on the mat. And then bend the knees and taking that gentle windshield wiper, again, side to side. So this is, again, a deep back bend here. So you take just enough time here for the counter pose, for that sort of strange, temporarily weakened sensation to go away. Beautiful. And then from here, let's take a pose that we call zigzag. So the legs are long, the hands are right where they are, and you just bring the left leg, bending the knee and bringing it out to the side so the foot is flexed. The head can stay down. You can look back towards the left side or over the right shoulder. So this is a gentle hip opener. You can see here the target area will be the top of the hip and actually the inner aspect of the leg as well. As she reaches out and relaxes, yeah, perfect. That left knee comes out a little bit. Gentle hip opener called zigzag. And we hold this pose for a little bit. And then we'll slide the left leg back in and just come right over to the right side. So the right knee comes in. Really honor that each hip is different, so it might feel a little different. You can customize this, the knee can come further towards the face or further away. You'll find that sweet spot, and you're opening up the inner aspect of the thigh and the outer aspect of the hip. Some people feel nothing. If that's the case, the knee can always be propped up with a blanket underneath, or a block, or whatever. And then we'll slide the right leg back. Beautiful. And take a couple of windshield wipers. Beautiful. And then let's come up and take a cat-cow. So taking your time, just bringing the knees up. Hands will be under here. And again, just let this be organic. So in a yin pose, you're looking for a counter pose that the body's just calling you to do. So Yasmin is doing a proper cat-cow. I'm kind of wiggling around, just listening to what the body says. And that's what we do. Now, no yin class would be complete without at least one dragon, so we'll do that. Let's bring the right foot forward, and we'll take an inside dragon. So that means the hands are on the inside. They can be down on blocks or down on the floor. And here, unlike the yang version of a crescent lunge, we're letting the muscles in the quad relax, the muscles in the outer hip. So it's not going to look the same as in other yoga classes. Just letting it be. So it's the target area is this dense sacral band, again, across the outer hips, where the bulk of the yin work is between the navel and the knees. We hold this for a little bit. And then let's take a twisted winged dragon. So here, the wing, and you'll see ours are going to look very different. The knee comes out, the right knee wings out a little bit, and then you take a twist. And you just let the hands go where they go. So mine will stay on the knee. Yeah, Yasmin's is up. They're both correct. This is just where the body feels. I have a little bit of weight in this hand. We're opening up here the left quad. And this dense sacral band that runs right across. So this is functional alignment versus aesthetic alignment. And then we'll come back and swing the right leg back and just come right to the left side. So left foot will come forward, and we're taking an inside dragon here. So say a yang version would look more like this, much more engaged. Here we're letting it go. We're opening up, releasing this outside hip, releasing the dense sacral band across the right side. Noticing how the difference in how our poses look. Typical class, we do a couple versions of dragon. They're the most yang-like I mean, you have to have some muscular engagement or you'd topple over in this shape. So, so there is some, but we're letting it go. And now we'll take a twisted winged version. So the knee will come out. Notice the angles of our feet are a little different. Ours is more open, mine's more down. And then we take the twist, and our hands will land in different spots. Yeah. So you don't really look at your neighbor when you're in a yin class. You really feel what's going on in the body, feeling the target area here in the right psoas across the hip. Yeah. Beautiful. We hold this for a couple of breaths. Again, the breath is sort of your preference in a yin class. You can do a ujjayi breath or just let it be natural. And then we'll unwind this and take a counter pose of your choice. A lot of bodies really crave a down dog, and I know this one will. Cat-cow can also be a lovely thing, as can be a child's pose. So you take always a counter pose. Here you're working up, bringing in the sensation back into the target area and equalizing it. Beautiful. Taking any movements that feel good in the body. And then let's drop the knees and come down to a seated position. And bring the legs out front. Give them a little shake. Beautiful. So let's take a half dragonfly. So the left leg will stay out, the right leg will come in. And then you're going to roll the substance of the body over the left leg. Just take a forward fold. So here, you let the hands land where they land. Notice she's relaxed here. She's releasing the muscles in the target area. That's the hamstring. So any pain should come right out. You're looking for that dull, broad ache that comes from just relaxing the muscles and letting the stress come into the connective tissues in the belly of the muscle. Beautiful. And you hold this and let this be. Yeah, she's relaxed. So Yasmin has a lot of flexibility. If you don't, you can use your props here. Find a stack that feels good someplace that can give you some support. You can let gravity be your friend. So in this case, if I have this position, you notice all of the weight can just come in, releasing in the hamstring. We're working mostly through the navel and the knees, so you don't want to be posturing the head and neck. Let's slowly come on out, and we'll take the other side. Beautiful. Just setting up. So you don't want to posture the head and neck, and you're free to, so go right, just come right into the fold, and just take the shape. So we review the principles. You take the shape and play the edge. She's taken the shape. She's looking for that edge, relaxing the muscles in the target area, which in most bodies are, this is a little bit of a twist, in the outer hip and a little bit on the left side, and then right into the hamstring on the right. Just letting gravity be the friend here, sinking right in. Any tingling or electric pain, you can usually just shift the position and make that go away, but any sharp or shooting pain, you always just come right out. And again, practicing that functional alignment. And you can use the props to be your friends in the yin class as well, because if you're having a place for particularly the head and the hands and the extremities, a place for them to land, can get that gripping, that tightness out of the body. And the brain sometimes likes to think, oh, I'm doing all this work because I'm tensing my jaw, when really we want to be working down in the target area. So if you find a place for it to land, that could work. And then we'll come out of this shape. And we'll take a half shoelace. So let's bring the left leg out, and then the right leg will come across. And I'll show a couple will just automatically show you a couple versions of this. Yeah, so the knees can be stacked or whatever. You want to make sure the ankle doesn't hurt. And then we're going to take the eagle arms as well. So arms come wide. And let's take right arm underneath left. Beautiful. So we set up for eagle. Nice tall breath in to create the length, and then come right into the forward fold. Yeah, beautiful. So you let the hands land where they land, the elbows land where they land. Most bodies, the sensation abounds here. So here you're opening up. It's upper body work here, the space between the shoulder blades, collarbones are being spread, the neck is working long, but it's a softer, more relaxed version of the pose. This is definitely outer hip on the right-hand side, and most bodies the hamstring on the left. So it's a lot. Again, anything that feels too much, too sharp, whatever, you just make an adjustment. We talked about most of the work being knees to navel, so that means if that outside foot is feeling funny, you're starting to fall asleep, you just move it using any props that you need. And breathing and opening. So this is also a powerful neck opener, shoulder opener, this particular pose. This is kind of an everyday pose. It looks a little pretzel-y, but just make a version that works for you. And then about every 30 seconds, the body usually likes to make some kind of adjustment to the head and neck, and that's normal. That's just the tissue giving way, and opening up. And then we're going to come out of this. You come out of it kind of slow. Undo the arms. And let's bring the legs out, give them a little shake. And then take the shape on the other side. Yeah, any neck, anything you have to work out, you just work out. Then the left leg comes across. You can sit up nice and tall and beautiful arms. And then you take eagle arms to the other side. Soft gaze at the hands, shoulder blades come down, back, arms. Opening up the chest, maybe starting lifting a little bit. And then as you exhale, just gliding right into that beautiful forward fold. And you let the elbows land wherever they land. By the way, if the forearms feel cramped, you can always just take the wrap version here. Checking in with the lower back. This pose can also be done seated straight up. Quite beautifully. A little difference in flexibility from one side to the other, and that's always quite normal. And again, letting gravity be the friend here, so the weight of that left leg is helping to open up the right hamstring. And feeling it all again across this dense sacral band. This is the toughest tissue in the body, the densest tissue in the body. Opening up right back between the shoulder blades. Beautiful. And with each breath, you're looking for those places to just let go, to soften. And then slowly unwind. You can take the arms and shake them out, and the legs and shake them out. And then let's come right down onto the back. Bring the knees into the chest and give them a squeeze. Yeah, a lot of work has been done there, so you want to give them a squeeze and a gentle rock side to side. Beautiful. And then we can take a happy baby. Beautiful. And then if a happy baby doesn't feel so great, you can just take dead bug, which is holding onto the top of the shins. And you're stretching out, opening one side and the next, just customizing it, letting this be organic. I'm taking whatever counter poses. So you've done a lot of intense work, and then that movement is really, an organic thing. And then from here, the final twist we'll take is called twisted root. So you wiggle to the right-hand side of your mat. And then you take the right leg and just put it right over the left. And then drop the knees to the left and roll the right arm open. So right away, see how this feels. If it feels great in the body, you might need a prop here underneath the knees. And if this just doesn't feel grand, you just stack the knees and take another version of a twist. Again, you're letting gravity be your friend, opening up the chest. You see how the chest wall will be open. Always the ability to customize this pose. Sometimes as the knees come closer to the face, you feel it more in the hip, more further away from the body, more in the lower back. So you just listen to what you feel needs a little bit of extra opening and zhuzhing up, and that's what you go for. In a yin style class, our cues are vague, and they're intentionally vague. We do that so you get into the body. It's really a much more meditative, internally focused type class. Time to spend going deep into one particular shape. We talk about holding poses for longer, being relatively still for relatively longer periods of time. And I say relatively because sometimes you don't hold them that terribly long, and a little bit of movement is normal as the tissue gives way. And then we'll unwind this one and take the shape to the other side, so you wiggle to the other side of the mat. Yeah. And then the leg folds over. Beautiful, and then comes towards me. And then the arm opens wide. So really taking advantage of any props. If you're doing this at home, anything you have at home will work. Towels, pillows, whatever, just to make this feel comfortable. The head and neck, again in yin, it's going to be where it feels comfortable. So you don't want to be posturing the head and neck because it's not where the work is being done. You want to be opening it and having it be in a comfortable position. Again, these angles you can work with. The knees come closer to the face, and it's more in the back, further away. Yeah, more in the hip. We'll take a couple more breaths here. And then unwind this, and you bring the knees into the chest. And just really take any last movement that would feel good in the body. Really can be anything at all. Another twist, another happy baby, a nice long body stretch. And then I set up for Shavasana. It's always a really nice idea to find a comfortable place, a nice nest. Yasmin's sort of a little bareback here, but that's fine. You can put a bolster underneath the knees, roll a blanket or pillow underneath the head. And then you relax all the effort of the practice and take a nice long Shavasana. So I'm just going to leave her here to enjoy and relax. And I want to thank you so much for joining us for the yin class. Namaste.